Okay, so good day and welcome once again to Talk Your Talk. It's always a pleasure being here, and as you can see here, it said we need a report. Now, what am I talking about? We need a report. Okay, so I will tell you what I'm talking about. Now, we live in a country which I guess most people will recognize as a democratic society. Now, the truth of the matter is, I always have a problem with this so-called democracy. Okay? Now, when you look around the world, there's a whole lot of countries and islands that say that they are actually living in a democratic system. But then, when you look at their lifestyle and the way most of them deal with their people, the way they handle their business, it is different. It is different on many counts. Okay? Because you look at a place like Venezuela, you would say this country is democratic. You look at America, Canada, they are democratic also. You look at Grenada, you look at all the islands up in the Caribbean, Central America, just name it, they all are democratic. But it seems to me they all are different in many, many ways. Okay? They are so different, it's just like Christianity. You have all different kind of religion reading the same Bible. Let's say they say that they are reading the same Bible, but they are so different. Okay? But anyway, basically what they are saying is that democracy basically is like having a freedom of speech. And the only reason why they say that, I think, is because they feel that in places like Russia and other places, they doesn't have freedom of speech. So everybody want to be free to say all the nonsense they want to say. You understand? Anyway, now said about this democratic kind of system, because that is what we are living in. Now I'm talking about here, we live in here in this place. And we know that the people who go into power, who become the government, we have a tendency to vote them in and out every 5 years or so. Okay, we call that democracy. They also tell you that in democracy there are what you call transparency. Okay, so people actually give account for what they do. They don't hide anything from you. You are free to say what you want to say that is within the law, right? So basically that sums up democracy. They also say in democracy, as an extension, that the people, that is the layperson, the people who do all the voting and stuff like that, they are the employers of the government. In other words, we are the ones that put them in there to take care of our business. Get it? So we are the employers. So what would happen is, if after 5 years they don't perform the way they have to perform and we're not in agreement with it, then we could vote them out and put somebody else. It's like find somebody and put somebody else. So you put them on the side until, they get themselves organized and come again. So I think that is their so-called democracy. Okay? Now, another thing is that we always have to have say in whatever happens in our country. Okay? Now, most of us out here, we are seeing things that are happening And some of us talk about it, some of us don't. Some of us just accept it for what it is and say, okay, well, that's the way the thing going, and that's the way it is. Okay, my concept is that I don't decide to sit down and just don't say anything. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So let us start. We need a report. Personally, I believe that it's our form of democracy. We are small. We're supposed to be totally involved in what is happening in our country in every way. Okay? If the government made a decision to plant a corn and they plant the country and 20 people will be fed by that country, we're supposed to know about that. If our government just sitting in office and not doing anything, or any individual there, one of the people that we voting there to represent us, not doing anything, we have a right to know about it, and then we also have a right to get rid of that person even before their term is finished. That is democracy. Okay? You can't have somebody sitting down there not doing nothing or not doing anything and spend 5 years collecting taxpayers' money, still getting pension after the 5 years and not doing anything. That is just bad. So we definitely don't want that. So those are the things we have to be very, very, very conscious about. And in that regard, we have to deal with it. Okay, so if somebody are not functioning, they are not doing what they are placed there to do, they are not working according to their portfolio, then we don't need to have that person there. And not only we don't need to have that person there is nothing you call reshuffling in this book. If you're not functioning in one portfolio, you would not be functioning in another. It's as simple as that. And most of the time, this responsibility will fall on the head of the government or the party or whichever you want to call them. If you find that person is not functioning properly, get rid of them. Okay, so how would we know that they are not functioning? Right, we would know that when every 6 months they have to give a report of what they do. Right, we have to know what they do for that 6 months and how what they do or what they did affect and would affect and benefit the people of this country. It is important, because if you go there to mind our business, then you have to give a report of what you do to enhance our life, our lifestyle, or our livelihood, basically. So whatever you do have to be in the interest of the people you represent. So every 6 months you are supposed to give a report on your activities. Okay, we should do that. We have to do that. So then when we do that, what would happen is we will feel, as a people, you will be showing us some respect. We will also feel that we are part of the development of our country. We are not being used like only around 5 years you will come and we know that you exist. 5 years ago we saw you, and now we just seen you after 5 years coming to ask us for your job back. I mean, just doing that, showing that you are shameless, okay, and you have no form of integrity. So when you behave like that, when you comes back for your work, if you slip past and you make 5 years, nobody should vote you back in power anymore, because you are shameless. But then if we demand we get our report every 6 months, and it is your responsibility to do what you have to do to bring that report to us as a people, what would happen is that would be a motivating factor for you to do your work, instead of just sit down and just whiling away your time scratching pieces of paper. You understand? We want to know what you did. It's important. When we look around, we are the people here. When we look, we see things that most of you all maybe either you fail to see, you're not interested in seeing, or maybe you just don't see it. You know, let me give you a typical example. You remember when the IMF was about to come here a couple of years ago, but the same people who are in government now, and they came to us, well, whether we like it or not, they were going about doing it anyway. But that at least, I could see with it in a form. But they came to us and say, okay, well, we have to. They didn't ask. They told us, well, we will have to pay some tax to get rid of the debt, So by 3 years' time, we're supposed to square up our debt, and we're supposed to be smooth sailing, and everything will be nice, basically after 3 years. So we were glad, because I used to be telling people that, that is for our country, man. And if everybody pool, and make a contribution, then it's for us, it's a togetherness. So everybody will feel they are part of what is happening in our system, and that is good. So then 3 years pass and nobody give us any report about what happened, if the bill don't pay or whatever it is. Or if, okay, well, the bill don't pay, so let us pay a little portion of the VAT or the tax or whatever you say. Break it down a little and thing, because, you have to pay tax to keep the thing moving. So we don't expect to be totally not paying tax in Grenada. But at the end of the day, explain to us what happened, so we go break it down a little bit, so we know, well, things nice. Make the people feel that they are appreciated. But nothing of the sort pass. So 4 years, 5 years pass, and 6 years go and pass, and nobody tell us anything. That is disrespectful. We're supposed to get a report on that. Okay? The other thing, you look at our agricultural sector. Now, some years ago, there was a situation in Grenada where the motto was idle hands for idle lands. Now, currently, we have a lot of idle hands in our country. People without job. Sometimes you see a hotel go up somewhere, a few people get a couple of job. That is for a couple of months. That is not sustaining for a period of time. It's just like getting attendance in the road, so you work for 2 weeks, you get paid, and then you suffer for the next 6 months and stuff like that. That is what is happening. We need things to sustain us. We need things to keep us moving and developing as we go, right? So you look at what we have. We look at farming, okay? Now, there is a lot of people who have a lot of land, idle lands all over the place, okay? Place turning bush, little jungle, People have that going on. You have some people, they buy their land, they gone back in their country, they never come back here, the land just there. And then you have good agricultural land. I am thinking that why not create stuff like cooperatives and stuff like that? It's like the Minister of Agriculture can think of something, create a cooperative. Take a book from back in the day. We used to live like that, and it was proven to be successful, right? So do that, get people interested in the land. Sometimes you see on TV where some guy have some good pen, no, I'm not putting him down. I respect that. That is the shot. That's the road we have to go. But then he's taking care of animals, which you call animal husbandry, you might call that, right? Now that is a part of farming. So if he is doing that, then you'll find that you have government people will go there and they'll show up themselves there, like if they want to take the credit for that, So they put themselves there, like if they initiate that. Most of the time it's our people do their own thing. You understand? They initiate their thing and they do their work and stuff like that. Now, we have people who could work lands here, people that know about the soil in our country, but we have a lot of wasteland. And ask myself what the Minister of Agriculture is doing about that. Now, you're supposed to give a report what you're doing, where you decide to take agriculture, knowing that we ain't have oil, we don't have gold, we don't have silver in our soil. What we have is is agriculture. And I will tell anybody, if any government in power and they turn back on agriculture, that government is a fool. Any government that come in our country, anybody that run it, the first thing they're supposed to make sure they do is to ensure that our agricultural system is in good working condition. That machine is well oiled. You have some minister of foreign affairs, this kind of people, and trade maybe. Why not go over there, get market, instead of wasting time, instead of looking for tourists, get market to buy our produce and work with the minister of agriculture to enhance the agricultural sector so we could be able to produce foods and stuff for markets out there. That is what you guys gotta do. And then when you're doing that now, then you report to us every 6 months how it go. So then we could give our contribution. We could see, because you all don't know everything. That's the thing about it. So don't try to think for the whole nation. You cannot think for the whole nation. You'll make a boo-boo. You see? And that is what a lot of people don't understand. You see, that is why they call it freedom of speech in democracy. You understand? So once you reach out to the people and you make you make the people feel included and not in a hypocrite way, then you will get help in whatever you do. You understand? So when you do what you do and you come back to the people, okay, well, because we representing not yourself, unless you are a thief and you only go there to fill your pocket. But if you did to represent us, then you always have to be coming back to the people and let the people know what is happening. That is democracy. Okay? Now, based on information that I get, there is a situation that I realize will certainly cause a problem in our society eventually. Okay? And that is in the health sector. You understand? And it is a serious thing, because currently, what we know is that there is a lot of nurses that is going to work in the private sector. And the reason why they're doing that is because it's either the pay is not enough, their working condition is not adequate, they're under a lot of stress because most of them they work in a state of understaffness. A new word, you know. They're understaffed, so they have to do X amount of X amount of the work that it wasn't supposed to be doing in the first place, if they had the right amount of people working. You understand? So you have that problem currently. Then you even have a problem with drugs and stuff like that. They don't get the right kind of drugs. Your question of bed. Sometimes somebody might be in the hospital there, they end up in the hospital and you don't have enough beds for them. You don't have reserve, you don't have anything. Might have to sit down and stuff like that. Okay? In the hospital. But that is one situation, and not moving. But the other situation is this. Is that there is a case of no nursing school. Well, the reason why I say no nursing school is because the hospital is to do their own nursing. It's the government program, so they will train you, as a nurse for quite a number of years. I think in collaboration with the college, right? TAMCC, I think. So they will train you to be a nurse. Also, they will train you to be a midwife one time, and stuff like that. So when you finish, you become a full nurse. So that used to be happening. And on top of that, the nurses used to be getting what you call a little stipend. Even small like how it is, a little change to keep them moving, because most of the time, the people that go and do nursing is poor people children. Okay? And sometimes they come from different parts of the island where transport is, financing a transport could be difficult. So it was very nice that they get a little stipend and they take care of their little business. Become nurses, patriot, go in the hospital, take care of business properly. So they do their part. But no, what you notice is that based on the condition that is happening in our health sector, a lot of our nurses, as I said earlier, are going into the private sector and also are looking for ways and means to be out of this island. And it is not one and it's not two, it's a bunch, a lot. So when these people go, right, now what would happen to us? And let me tell you how it will turn bad. Currently, the government doesn't have a nursing school. So if you need to do nursing right now, you will have to go down in SGU to do your degree, your nursing degree, and stuff like that. Okay? But when you go down there, it's not a free trip. You have to pay. You understand? To do your nursing degree down there. You know, to be employed in one of the hospitals in Grenada where there are adequate equipments and everything else, and they are understaffed. And the reason why they are understaffed, I said I don't tell you. People are living, people going in private sector, and people traveling because they want to find a better life for themselves and their family according to their gospel. You understand what I'm saying? No. So let's put all these things in perspective now. So if nurses gone, nurses in the hospital short staff, okay? To learn to be a nurse, you have to go and pay money in SGU to learn to be a nurse. A lot of money. Money that most people who go to study nursing don't have because they usually depend on a little stipend to survive. But then they have to spend a pile of money in SGU to go and study nursing. To go through 3 or 4 years nursing, intense nursing, to come back and go through the same stress or worse in our hospitals. Now, based on what is happening now, the average person would not be going and study nursing because they wouldn't feel this kind of enthusiasm to go and study nursing right now. Because when they look around, they realize it's just like if a nurse doesn't actually have a career in this place. So even if you go down there for 4 years, there are chances you might even fail because in your mind, you'll be constantly feeling insecure and uncertain about your future in relation to what you are studying. So there is a whole possibility you could spend your money and fail your exams, and that will be most terrible. So I am thinking that the Ministry of Health supposed to take the reins seriously and do what they gotta do. There was a time when people never used to be paying tax in Grenada. We wasn't paying tax, I tell you, for the longest while, nobody paying any tax. You feel this joke? Nobody paying VAT, nobody paying nothing. Yet, we had nurses training and getting stipend. Now, everybody right down to the littlest child paying VAT. Why they can't have that? So where the money going, all this VAT we paying? We still paying debt, or we just putting more debt on top of the debt that we have and nobody know? We want to also know if the IMF is still here. You know, if they would be here indefinite, just borrowing us money and keeping us in slavery. Remember the Bible say, the borrower is a slave to the lender. So we don't want to find ourselves in that situation where all we have to do is to pay back bills. That is a slave mentality. Seriously. So back to the nurses. So I am thinking, when nurses retire and nurses feel they're just tired, where would we be getting nurses to replace the nurses that are leaving for retirement and those that maybe just go into the private sector or something like that? I mean, nurses, it always have a constant flow of nurses coming out from our nursing schools in Grenada. Just like how you have a constant flow of police officers always coming out from training school. You go to town, you always seeing police officers well dressed, brand new, and you know they just come out yesterday. It used to be like that with nurses. So what is the problem? Our health is very important in this country. You see? And one of the most important thing about getting a report from all of these people who we employ is to let us know that y'all are not sleeping on the job. You see? So the next election we could say this person wasn't sleeping, they've been on top of the game right through for the 5 years. So we closing our eyes and vote them back to continue their work. So I can see why we can't do things the way we used to do. We have a lot of issues in our country. Plenty issues. You know. I could remember back in the day, and we could still do it now because those are lessons. We used to be having mango nectar and tambra nectar. There's always be telling the youth them about it. We had a factory churning out tambra nectar, mango nectar, all these nectars, and we used to export it too, because when I went to Trinidad, I was buying them on shelves in Trinidad. You understand? Now we used to be exporting those. But what happened? They sold it. They sold the plant. You know, they sold the machinery. Basically, they sold the factory. And when that used to be happening, we had a market for our crops. So you could get your bag of tamarinds or your whatever you get, your mangoes, and then you could bring it to the industries, and then they get paid for it. They in turn process it, make mango nectar, sell it here to our people, which was much healthier than Boston Chubby, and export to Trinidad also. That was industry. That is development of our nation. Now we don't have that. I could remember when we had our own planes. Not planes, but I could remember one plane. We used to even call it Bantaranti, I think was the name. That was our own plane. I don't know much what happened to the plane, but as far as I understand, I heard it was sold. Okay? Now we have an airport, nice big international airport, and we don't have a plane. Other planes landing, but we don't have a plane to say this is Air Grenada. You understand what I'm saying? It's like having a garage nice and pretty without no vehicle in your yard, and like nobody can drive. As a matter of fact, we have pilots here, so why not invest in a plane and go selling crops all over the world? Invest in a plane. I mean, you have people that will know the more technical know-how. It's not just like going and load up a plane and going around calling people when you land, hey, I have banana and mango here. It's not that. You have people who know the technicalities and how to go about it. As a matter of fact, we have what? We have a minister of finance. I say finance. We have a minister of foreign affairs. We must have that. You know, and trade and stuff like that. We must have that. So why not get markets? Invest in a plane. You know, encourage your people to plant and get a market for them, and then export. If they want to send a boat for it, we bring it for them at a cost to cover our plane costs and everything like that. It's simple as that. You know, maybe not so simple, but the thing about it, that is ideas that should be running around in our minds, because that is on the road to development, on the road to independence. So we had our plane, and our plane was quick too. Right? Now we doesn't have, because we sell. You understand what I'm saying? We are just selling this, selling that, And then our people who lives here are the people that feeling a whole brunt of the pressure. You understand? So with all these things happening in our country, and most that we don't know, and what we should know is that we should be given a report, so we should know. You understand? We should know what is happening in our island in relation to the development, the business part, and everything. We have to know. Let the ministers give a report on what is happening. Let us feel as though we are part of the ongoings in our country. You understand? Don't make us feel like outsiders, and the only time you want to show up like you're a patriot is when Independence Day come, when Carnival come, people jumping up with their colors. No, that is not how the thing does go. You understand? Being a patriot means you have to be there every single day, every single night. You understand? It's time we actually start looking at things the way we're supposed to look at it in this year our country. You understand? Give us the report every 6 months. Yeah, so we could know what is happening in our country, what decision you made. You understand? For us, because the thing about it, as I said earlier, you cannot think for everybody in our country. You understand? That is why it is important to get our input also. And if you get our input, your work will be much easier. You understand? Where is the aspiring together and the building nation together? Where is that? You don't want me to say you're all fake, right? So the thing about it, let us work together to build a better Grenada. Idle lands for idle hands. Let us work our land. That is what we have. Let all the ministers, Minister of Finance, Minister of Health, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Trade and Foreign Affairs, and Prime Minister and everybody else. You understand? Somebody take the initiative and keep the people of our country abreast of what you are doing. You see, we need this report, you understand, so that we would know what you are doing for our country. You see, when you do something, whether you are a minister of agriculture, finance, whatever you are, we want you to know that we would like to know what you are doing, telling us in layman terms, so then everybody could understand the decision you made, what you did, and how it would affect everybody upon this land. We need that. That is your work. That is why the people of Grenada vote you in there for. You understand? So make sure that you all could give us a report of what you all do. There is a lot of ills in our community. Work with us. Work with us. We don't want you all running around by yourselves. Every time we give you put all in power, you run around, you do your own thing. And then when you do all your foolishness, we don't know what you did for 5 years. Most of you do nothing. And then you're running back and asking people for a vote again. Stop this foolishness. Have some pride, some integrity. Have a little bit of shame. If you know you don't do anything, Just go home. You know you don't want to do, you just want to sit, just go home. Go on 4.5 years sick leave or something. Just go home. It's better that way. So that people who want to do what they're supposed to do will just do it in peace, you know. That's how it is. We love our island. For real. You know. But you people have to stop this foolishness. You know. You have to stop acting as though you're all working against us, because that is how you're functioning. Like if you're all working against us. But we believe that as a patriot, we're supposed to be working together, not against each other. So let us work together to build a better Grenada. Be at peace, be blessed. I will see you guys in another video. Stay strong, stay patriot. Well, stay patriot.